It's official, Cape Town's crown jewel is a natural wonder.
It's my mountain, it's my vote.
Table Mountain was officially named a new wonder of the world in May 2012, and rightly so. It gives Table Mountain the opportunity to take its place in the history books of the world for the true wonder that it is. SANPARKS took over the management of Table Mountain National Park in 1998, and we are proud and elated to be counted among some of these iconic natural wonders.
The new Seven Wonders campaign began in 2007 with over 440 participants representing 220 countries and generated in excess of 100 million votes worldwide. According to SABINE LEHMANN, CEO at Table Mountain's cableway company, visitor numbers reached record highs after the mountain was named on the provisional list of 7 sites on 11 November 2011. Among the many wonders of nature on the entire planet, only 7 were chosen to this exclusive group. The massive 7 million square kilometer Amazon rainforest encompasses 9 nations and represents over half of the planet's remaining rainforests. Ranked the largest river in the world, it accounts for 1/5 of the total world river flow. Ha Long Bay in Vietnam features thousands of little islands, several hollow with enormous caves, others supporting floating villages, with an abundance of lakes inside the limestone isles. Iguazu Falls on the border between Brazil and Argentina extend over 2,700 meters in a semicircular shape. Made up of 275 falls, they are the biggest falls on Earth. Jeju Island is a volcanic island just off the southern coast of Korea. The island has a surface area of 1,846 square kilometers with a central feature of Hallasan, the tallest mountain in South Korea, and a dormant volcano. Indonesia's Komodo National Park was founded in 1980 to protect the Komodo dragon. It features 3 large islands and a number of smaller ones for a total area of 1,817 square kilometers. The Puerto Princesa Subterranean River National Park in the Philippines is a limestone karst mountain landscape with an 8.2 kilometer navigable underground river, reputed to be the world's longest.
The special thing about Table Mountain is it's the only new Seven Wonder of Nature that's in the middle of a city. And so it means you can sit on Green Market Square and have a cup of coffee and still gaze at a wonder of nature.
Straddling the Indian and Atlantic Ocean, Table Mountain is one of the oldest mountains in the world at approximately 260 million years. It is also home to the world's smallest yet most diverse floral kingdom and will continue to attract millions of visitors to South Africa's mother city each year.
The new Seven Wonder of Nature initiative has touched South Africans, all South Africans, and it's a symbol of hope, unity and transformation. The mountain brought South Africans together in a common goal, and this is in line with South African National Park's vision of connecting to society.
I herewith officially inaugurate Table Mountain as one of the new 7 Wonders of Nature.
Well, certainly a proud achievement to be rated as one of the new 7 Wonders of Nature. Earlier in the show, Godfrey Mutizwa spoke with the CEO of Protea Hotels and the ND of Troughton about the outlook for the hotel industry. He also caught up with Katinka Schumann-Bester of the IDC, Wayne Troughton of HTI Consulting, and Fred Koch of Hosmark. That's to find out how and where the performance of the sector has improved.
Fred, I want to start with you, because I want to get a true picture. I want to get the size of the opportunity that is facing Africa's hotel industry. The notes that I have show we have got something like 29 international hotel groups, and we're talking about 59 brands between them that are operating within Africa. And everybody is getting excited about this continent. Paint a picture for me.
Godfrey, Africa is probably the last development continent in the world. It has huge resources, largely unexploited, and as a continent, the economies of Africa are now emerging quite rapidly into the global interface.
But let me take the conversation to Wayne. Wayne, you hear what Fred is saying about the Africa opportunity, about where he is seeing that growth potentially coming through. Is that a picture that you also see?
Yes, definitely. I think you can't look at Africa as one country, as some people try and look at it. There's so many different markets, but across the board there are significant opportunities in Africa. In the West, you're seeing a lot of mineral growth, mainly business tourism, and that's been there for probably 5 to 10 years. Where we're seeing the most significant new growth coming is with the finding of significant reserves of gas and now also possibly oil in the eastern part of Africa. And traditionally, the eastern part, Mozambique, Dar es Salaam, or Tanzania, and Kenya, have typically been quite heavily tourism, leisure tourism destinations.
Now you are, of course, you're a funder. Where is your money going? Does it correlate with what they are saying?
I absolutely agree with the views expressed by both Fred and Wayne. There are huge opportunities on this continent. Now, the IDC is a development finance institution. Although we're based in South Africa, we've got a continental mandate, and we would want to see industrial capacity being developed not only here but throughout the continent, in the nodes where it's more difficult. So we're not like a commercial fund, and we want to look at the areas where you wouldn't traditionally find the banks storming to or falling over their feet to actually finance that.
Yeah.
So we've done studies. We've also gone to see where are these fast-growing nodes, and our purpose would then really be to kickstart. We don't want to do it on our own.
Yeah.
We want to work in all cases with a local promoter in whatever country we concerned with. So we want to have a benefit to the host country, but we want to obviously see benefit to South Africa as well.
Yeah.
And within the South African economy, there are huge opportunities to actually use our goods and services in the development of those hotels.
Yeah.
And sometimes it can even be South African operators.
How much potential is there still for growth within South Africa? Because many people, when they refer to South Africa, they talk of it as a mature market.
Our tourism industry is mature. There's no doubt about that. It's a sophisticated system. At the moment, we're sitting in a period where there's more demand than there's more supply than there is demand.
Right.
And that's cyclical. We've gone through these phases before. At the moment, it's quite pronounced. So as IDC, we don't see many large-scale developments happening in South Africa right now. We've got to first grow into what's currently available.
Yeah.
But we see a lot of potential outside our borders.
I want Fred to give me a sense of why there is, if you like, slower growth in South Africa when you compare against the rest of the continent. Is that a function of the World Cup, where there was a lot of capacity that was built, and then post the World Cup, including the impact of the 2008 financial crisis, you did see a slowdown in arrivals and tourists coming to the continent?
Well, firstly, I think the slowdown was there before the World Cup, and the World Cup was a bit of a saver for a very short period of time.
Right.
But I think Katinka made the point, and that is that we had very good and very stable and steady growth in demand in South Africa, and we've had that for quite some time. Then in 2007, 2008, we saw the flattening of 2008. It just dropped away completely, and we saw almost 50% drop in activity or occupancies.
Sure.
Now, we've slowly but surely started catching up with that. If you just take the spike of World Cup out of it, and we tend to, in the industry, we tend to take the World Cup spike out completely when we look at the numbers. We're slowly but surely growing back to that. We must understand that also.
Are we there?
Almost.
Okay.
I think we're back to about 2008, 2009 levels.
Okay.
Or should I say that was just before that drop.
Right.
But we must remember something. There's been an inflationary increase in operating costs since then. So while rate growth and what we in the industry call the revenue per available room, or RevPAR, is slowly but surely recovering, occupancies up, but RevPAR is still down. But we still have this lag effect that we're behind the inflationary expectations. So we are, in actual fact, operating at levels pre-2008, where we are right now.
Wayne, let's take the conversation to Africa. I want us to pinpoint those countries where this is happening, because we know there are various reasons why Africa is growing. One of it was, of course, the discovery of new mineral resources, but also we are beginning to see economic growth that's more diversified than has been the case previously in the past.
Yeah, I think you've got to look at Africa, and you've got to look at each market individually. There are definitely specific capital cities that are going to continue to have good longevity, good infrastructure, good growth driven by mineral wealth.
Yeah.
And these are typically your main capital cities which will have long-term growth. We're also starting to see a lot of sort of emerging countries that are emerging out of post-conflict in West Africa. And some of these markets are completely untapped from a hotel perspective. Some of them, in terms of the stage of supply, is very early stages. So they're lacking just even 1 or 2 good quality hotels. So there's significant opportunities there and growth in those aspects. And then if you look at smaller cities, you're starting to see almost like gold rush type cities linked to oil, where there's a significant need for accommodation. And we're seeing these in places like Mozambique, in Tanzania, in the Copper Belt. And these are areas that are recording quite significant growth, but very localized, linked to the mineral wealth in that particular area.
Yeah. Is it too late for someone who's looking at Africa for the first time to come in?
No, not at all. I think it depends on what you're looking at. If you're looking at it as an international operator, I think from a management perspective, there's significant opportunities. There are challenges in terms of labor is probably one of the biggest challenges in terms of training and education. But in terms of opportunities, the profits are there for the management companies at operating profit level. Some of these markets have slightly lower labor costs and also have increased profitability. Because if you have higher average room rates and slightly lower costs, this is what's attracting the international management companies.
Katinka, let me come to you. I wanted specific places where you're putting your money. Give me some sense.
You must appreciate that RDC wants to focus in the areas where it's possibly less sophisticated and where the risk is higher. That is that's our mandate.
So the banks play in the other places?
They would typically be able to fund those easily. So we, on the West African side, we seeing opportunities in Togo, in Benin, definitely in Ghana. Ghana is pumping at the moment in all kinds of sectors, and that's where you would then have hospitality needs. In East Africa, Ethiopia, also lots of activity there. And Tanzania, and then closer home in Mozambique, and that would also link not only business hotel opportunities but also leisure, and Kenya to some extent.
Yeah. Fred, final thought from you. She is talking about the business as well as the leisure side, which is growing faster than the other between the two. But I also want you to talk about the dogs. Who is not growing?
Well, definitely business tourism or business demand is far greater than leisure, and that really depends on, or is driven by, the amount of air accessibility and the way the air packages are put together. And also with the facilities. We just don't have large leisure type facilities in Africa. The Indian Ocean, the east coast of Africa, is the sort of target area for leisure growth. And specifically in the sort of central and lower regions. Because
Why is that? Because that's always been known as a place where you go if you want to see the big five.
Well, it's the warmer climate and the warmer seas that you get in the Indian Ocean as opposed to the Atlantic.
Right.
And also you're closer to the sort of bush beach type of experience.
Right.
And then of course it's a medium haul for medium body jets out of Europe, so they can carry, you can do typically big charter type operations. But the leisure part is very seasonal, so it really depends on when the demand is there. And from Katinka's point of view, when you're investing or you're financing business operations, the kind of operations that Wayne's talking about in the cities that is catering for business people that are looking to build the commercial side of their businesses. It's very different to the leisure one, which is because there's no seasonality involved in that.
Who are the dogs? You can name it.
Well, I tell you, the dogs are the ones you can't get to by air, or that you have difficulty getting to by air.
Other than air access, it would also be the other infrastructure around, because if you've got a mining asset and you want to take that resource, whether it's road or whatever you would do, through to the ports, if that infrastructure is available, that will build the resource development, and that would then attract hotel